ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shits.
My name is ShartimusPrime, and I'm a Marvel Universe collector.
Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing a comic book review on The Walking Dead Volume 1. This is issues 1 through 6. Now, Walking Dead is my favorite ongoing comic book. I've been reading it for the past 7 years, and I just think it is incredible. I'm waiting for Volume 16 to come out right now, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going to do trade paperback reviews on each volume. For those of you who like the Walking Dead TV show and who don't feel like reading it, you could watch my reviews so you can know what's going on in the comics and see what the differences are. But I strongly and highly recommend that you read it. It is very, very good. It goes by really quick. It's very well paced, and the characters are great. Love the artwork. Tony Moore does everything in black and white for this, so you can see that. Go ahead and make some comparisons with this to the TV show. They are very similar. If you're into comics and you're familiar with the Ultimates, I kind of see like the TV show is like the Ultimates to the Avengers. It's like almost the same, but it's like a version 2.0 kind of thing. So very similar, but they have their differences. There's characters in here that aren't in the TV show. There are characters in the TV show that aren't here. But for the most part, the characters that you really do care about are in the book and in the TV show. So, story is pretty much the same. Rick wakes up in the hospital. First instinct of his is to find his way home. Of course, he finds the cafeteria full of zombies. Now, one thing that I really like about the artwork in this that is not really portrayed so much in the TV show is the number of flies and maggots. I guess you could see it in this picture. This is him finding the cafeteria. You can just see the flies all around, and I just love that. Especially with a lot of the zombies, there's just flies all over the place, and it really gives you the idea of how stinky it is, because you can't smell. It'd be cool if they could put smells in no, that's stupid. But anyway, you get an idea of how stinky it is by all the flies buzzing around the dead bodies and everything. And I think that's very, very cool. So I kind of wish they have a little bit more flies in the TV show. That'd be kind of neat. But, so he wakes up and he tries to find home. He runs towards his home first. And, sure enough, there's Bicycle Girl. You can see Bicycle Girl right there. So not exactly how she was in the TV show where she's cut right in half and crawling and everything, but pretty much the same deal. And you can see Rick getting kind of tearing up over seeing her. I really like the emotions here, like this picture right here. That's very, very cool. I really like Tony Moore's artwork, how expressive he is. And the zombies are just very, very well drawn. It's like when you look at the characters that are alive, they seem very regular and peaceful, but the zombies themselves are just horrid. I just think they're great. They have a lot of teeth showing, and it's just really, really awesome. So, I'm trying to tell you the story. By the way, spoiler alerts. I give spoilers. When I do reviews, I spoil everything. So that's kind of like the whole point of this thing, I guess. So, he tries to go home, and he finds Morgan and Dwayne. It's very similar to the TV show. I guess like they had heard that the city is a safe place to be, but Dwayne and Morgan are just kind of staying there because they have shelter, and they're in Rick's neighbor's house. So Rick wants to go into the city to try to find Lori and Carl. He stops by the police station, finds guns, finds a horse, and and Dwayne and Morgan go with him, and then they go their separate ways. And Rick goes into the city on the horse. They have that very, very iconic shot. There's that iconic shot of Rick going into the city. I just thought that's very, very cool how they portray that in the TV show. And, sure enough, he finds himself totally surrounded by zombies, and he can't really get out, and Glenn saves the day and basically rescues him, and they jump, rooftops, and they escape, and Glenn takes him back to camp. really quick, let me go through the roster of characters that we see in this book so far, because that's one thing is over the years reading this, there's characters that show up and die, new characters come in, and it's kind of hard to keep track of who's actually in the book. So every time I'm going to do one of these reviews, I'm going to do like a roster kind of thing like this. You have Morgan and Dwayne. You have Rick, Lori, and Carl. Of course, we also have Shane, Dale on the camper. You have Amy and Andrea. Glenn, of course. Carol and Sophia. We have Alan, Donna, and their twins. And we have Jim. So he gets introduced to everybody, and I guess like the one of the first, and there's a relationship between Shane and Lori that happened, of course. Rick doesn't know about it right away and everything, but the tension between Shane and Rick is very prominent right away. Like we feel the tension between them. Rick gets a feeling that they're not safe being camped outside the city, and he wants to move them out somewhere else. Shane is very much against that. Shane believes that the government's going to come by and rescue them and take them all back to safety. Rick doesn't believe that's going to happen, so they kind of go back and forth with that. So that's like the main conflict between Shane and Rick right there. So you can feel like the alpha male thing is like, where do we take the group? You know, it's between those two. Then another thing too is that Rick wants to protect everybody, and he feels right away that Carl should have a gun and be able to protect himself. Lori's totally against this, and she's very upset with him and stuff. So, you know, there's that. And we get to learn about the characters and everything as the story goes on. You see them go out hunting, and, you know, they have their debates and whatnot. And then like towards the end of the book, we see they have their campfire thing, and Jim is a very interesting character because they explain how he had to watch all his whole family die. Apparently even his mother, you know, got killed right in front of him while he escaped. So that character is like very, very dark, and like I said, spoilers, he's one of the people that gets bitten and dies, just like in the TV show. Amy, Andrea's sister, she gets bitten and dies just like in the TV show. Andrea is a very good shot, like in the show. But the big surprise is that in the first book, Shane already gets killed. Now, there's a really cool scene here while they're all having their heart-to-heart and everything, and the zombies come attacking everybody. Ooh, there's Amy getting bit. That was very nasty. And one of the zombies comes after Lori, and she basically fumbles the gun. Like, she has a gun, and she basically drops it right here. You can see that right there. And then the next panel, you see little badass Carl comes in. Blammo! Now, Carl's about 7 years old if he looks younger, and Sophia is about 7 years old also, so the kids are a little bit younger. But I thought that was really badass. And then after that whole attack, so we lose Amy and we lose Jim, basically. And the thing is that Rick puts the blame on Shane. Shane is a bit crazier in this than he is in the TV show, if you could believe it or not. He's like very, very aggressive, a lot more aggressive than he was in the TV show. And at the end of the book, Shane pulls a gun on Rick, and they start going back and forth at it. You can see, you know, Shane ranting and everything like that. He pulls a gun on him, and he gets shot right there, and sure enough, it's Carl. And that's how it ends. That's pretty much how it ends right there. And Carl's the one who shoots him, and Rick doesn't really blame him for it, but, you know, it's very sad. You know, Carl says this line, you know, it's not the same as killing the dead one's daddy, and Rick says, it never should be, son. It never should be. And then that's the end of Volume 1. So, yeah, that's my recap on Volume 1 right there, and I'll be doing another one on Volume 2 and the whole rest of them. So, hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you next time. Catch you later. Peace.
Oh, that's Shartimus. He is so awesome. But now what should I do on the internets?
You go to BKBN.net! Here, let me show you, man! Big Kids Big News is #1 source for geek news, reviews, toys, comics, movies, cartoons, video games, and more! Next time you're done watching my videos, where are you going?
BKBN.net.
Where are you going?
BKBN.net.